Jones. So, Shannon, what was the biggest reason the Raiders pulled this one off?
Because I thought the Ravens relaxed. Skip, they're in complete control of this ball game. They're up 14-0. They're just driving the ball. They're controlling the clock.
I agree.
And I'm like, okay, this is going to, the Ravens the Ravens are back to looking like the Ravens, although they have a lot of injuries on the other side of the football.
It felt like it was about to get messy for the Raiders.
I'm like, I'm sitting back. I'm like, okay, they doing things, big things. And then next thing you know, boom. The Ravens have some issues offensively. The right tackle, Skip, is going to be a problem for them moving forward because at the end of the game, it ended up costing them in a situation they should have had picked up. They didn't pick it up like they're supposed to, and they leave a D lineman on a running back who gave a half-ass effort in the block, and Nassib hits Lamar in the back, and he fumbles the football, but Lamar has to do a better job.
Remember, the running back is just all new. He's out of nowhere.
There's a lot of injuries to overcome.
Yeah.
I mean, you're down your two starters, and they're just signing guys off the street and putting them on the practice squad. Skip, but I thought the turnovers really hurt. Because, Skip, I don't get this with Lamar. Lamar is scrambling. Skip, the guy hits him. He's in the air. He's horizontal.
He was.
And he tried to switch the ball from his right to his left. Why? If anything, just put both hands on the ball. Why would you try to switch the ball from right to left? It makes no sense. And that's the one thing you see a lot of fumbles, Skip, when guys get up in the air. We just saw Jonnu Smith. Leave his feet, boom, ball comes out. And that's a lot of times because the ball is away from your body.
Yep.
So now the ball is going to be easier for it to come out. And I just thought there's too many mistakes. Lamar is just missing too many throws that should be routine. At this stage of his career, some of the throws that he's missing should be routine, and they're not, and I need to know why. Mark Andrews let him down, Skip, because on the second down, he hit him for a first down. Now we're in great situation. Come back the next play, get hit in the back, the ball's a turnover. And Wink Martindale, I know you're aggressive. I know this is the style that you like to coach.
It's like their DNA. I mean, but it's always been the Ravens style. Go ahead.
But what you have is that when you have two all-pro corners and you have another first-round pick in Jimmy Smith, who's a corner, you can play this. But when you're without Marcus Peters, you're without Jimmy Smith. So imagine now, your two of your top three corners are out. So now you got to bring the fourth, fifth, and sixth corners on the field, and you play zero coverage. You play this man coverage, Skip. You can't allow a team to go 37 yards with two plays, with no timeouts, and kick a field goal. You can't play zone. Why would you play that coverage? And I get the last play, Skip. That was what we call bomb blitz, zero coverage. I'm blowing it up. I'm bringing everybody, and Skip, they got rubbed off. Guys, what are you thinking? Marlon, other guy, what do you tell me what you're thinking. They're in a stack. A bunch formation.
It's a bunch, yeah.
You think everybody's just going to release straight up the field?
Yep.
Or they're going to crisscross and try to get natural rubs, you and your guy? And that's what happened. And the next thing you know, Marlon's like, you know what? He got me. Zay Jones got me. Touchdown, ball game's over. The Ravens made too many mistakes, Skip. There's no way they're supposed to lose this game with the way they're running the football, the way they're controlling the clock. And then all of a sudden they get careless, incomplete here, turnover there, and the game completely flips. And give Derek Carr, give him credit, Skip. John Gruden has never embraced him like I think a head coach should embrace his quarterback.
Agreed.
But he played phenomenal last night. He played unbelievable.
Okay. Here I go. In the end, I will seize upon what you said about Lamar, but I thought he played better. I thought he threw it better than you're giving him credit for. I thought, all told, Lamar played well enough to win the football game, except for two plays. You cannot fumble, especially on the road, especially in a new stadium with people inside for the first time, and Raider Nation was out in force.
They were going crazy.
And it was crazy loud in there.
They were crazy.
So you cannot give them reason to take throat again. You can't grab your own throat and choke up the football twice. You just cannot do it. You have to your point, I don't know what he's trying to change hands. And he made so many good runs in the game, and it's just wrong. You cannot fumble the football.
No.
That time, he let the Raiders out of jail on that one and got them back in the game, the one in the fourth quarter. And then the one in overtime, it's just simple. He's just trying so hard to make a play, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. You just have to protect the football and wrap up.
That's it.
It's one thing Brady has always done at the highest level. You just have to know he got hit the other night where I don't know how he held on the football, but it's issue number one for a quarter. It's priority number one. In the pocket, you have
ball security.
You have to control the football. You cannot let them knock the ball out of your hands because it's such an instant turnaround, turnover.
They're already in field goal range now, Skip. At worst case scenario, they're going to get an opportunity at a short field goal.
Okay, so we get that. Lamar was great and Lamar was bad.
Right.
In the end, the bad cost them. That's the bottom line to that game. You cannot fumble twice.
But you and I agree that it's the inconsistency. That's the problem for him. He can be spectacular, and then he can be like, Lamar, what the hell are you thinking?
Okay. While we're on that, before I get to my real point here, let's just see. I got a tape of great Lamar last night. I'm talking about great.
Yes.
If we could just see some of the great throws that he made. This is the scramble. This is the unteachable, uncoachable. Yeah. It is gift. It is MVP quality to Hollywood Brown for a touchdown. And this throw to Sammy Watkins, I just don't know if you can do it better than that. That's beautiful.
Skip, that's what you see that. You're like,
look at this run. Look at this run. Listen, it's beyond Michael Vick. Trust me, it's so spectacular. And then
there are only a handful of quarterbacks can do that.
I think there's only one. I just think there's only one. This is so breathtaking to me. The ability to throw it and run it at the highest of levels. This run right here, this is just spectacular. He is untackleable. And this was a clutch run, that got them down to save the game, put them back ahead. Okay? So this is great Lamar, and you can't fumble because in a nip-tuck game, a teeter-totter game, an emotional roller coaster game, if you fumble twice and they don't turn it over at all except for the weird which didn't kill them. It didn't kill them. It stopped them from winning, but it didn't lose the game.
Correct.
Lamar's two fumbles effectively lost the game.
Correct.
Okay, now I'm going to jump to the end of the game because this was very fascinating to me. On the play before the Zay Jones touchdown that ends it, John Gruden does something that a lot of great coaches I've been around, going back to Bill Walsh, Jimmy Johnson, they all believe that in an overtime situation, if you're in field goal range, just don't risk running plays.
Correct.
Just kick it.
Right.
Jimmy lost a game at Houston one year. It was his second year coaching the Cowboys. And Emmett fumbled on a play where you had them cold. They were playing at, I guess it was at Oilers at that point.
It's the dome there. It's the Astrodome.
It's in the Astrodome. And he's just kicking himself after the game because he went ahead and handed it to Emmett one more time to kind of position the football, and he fumbled it.
Right.
And they lost the game because of that. And they were still a young, upcoming football team, but you learn your lesson. Just kick the damn thing. Right. That's what they all say. Just go. If you're there, just go ahead. And by the way, if you get it blocked on second down and you recover it, it's still your football.
That's why I'm a firm believer in that also. Right. Kick the ball on second or third down. Okay,
so John Gruden lost control of this football game because his instinct was, okay, I've seen enough. I'm going to kick it. Well, if you're going to kick it, you got to get your team out there because the clock is winding down.
Right.
And I thought he very nearly blew the game because he got a -5 on a delay of game because his wheels didn't turn quickly enough to say, go, field goal team, go.
Right.
And it took like a minute of him going back and forth in his head, should I not, should I not?
Right.
And by the time they ran out there, plus I wouldn't have liked Carlson's chances if you're just rushing.
Yes, his helter-skelter now.
Now it's just, it's madness out there. It's chaos.
Yeah.
And they get a -5, and all of a sudden Gruden's like, oh, God, now I put 5 more yards on the kick.
Correct.
Maybe I should run a play.
Right.
Okay, so he nearly blows the game. And then, to his credit, this is vintage. This is what I love about John Gruden. This is why he calls his own plays. This is why he's in the quarterback's literally in his ear, telling him every move to make. I think John even tells him during the play when to throw it or not to throw it. So-and-so's open. Throw it to so-and-so. And what does he do? You described the play. After the game, Derek Carr said that he coached me all week. If we see this, we got to audible to this. And they hadn't seen it all game. But out of nowhere, Wink comes with cover zero. There's nobody, there are no safeties back because they're guessing, educated guessing, it's going to be a run.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you've got Zay Jones in the game, and he's not a starter,
right.
so he just happened to be in on this play, and Marlon Humphrey's going to take him single coverage. And here we go, and he was told, if you see this, audible to that. And so it's the bunch left, and all of a sudden, Zay Jones just takes off, and Marlon Humphrey doesn't even run. It's like a left fielder.
Once he gets picked, you know he's done.
Okay, it's like a left fielder in baseball when somebody just hits one 400 feet over your head. You don't even turn to watch.
It's scary. You know they got to run on third base, and the guy already know it's over your head. Ain't no sense in you running.
You just start walking, like it's just over.
Yes.
Again, for me, I would want Marlon just to run, just in case something. What if he just started juggling the ball? You just don't know. But he knew he got cooked.
Right.
He got had on that play, and so. To John Gruden's credit, he had been teaching and coaching that coverage against that set. If we get this, you have to audible to Zay because he is going to be able to run past somebody.
Yes.
And he did. And
Skip, if you watch this, he's telling him now, we're going to audible to this, but you're going to have to get back. But if you watch Kenyon Drake, he comes from the other side and gets just enough because this is what we call a bomb blitz. We're going to blow it up, Skip, but zero coverage.
Yep.
So this is what we got here.
Yep.
He does a great job of retreating. The back comes across the formation.
Not the easiest throw because he had to back foot it.
Off his back foot.
Yeah.
But he'd skip all he knows. If I just get it there, I got it. Look at this.
Okay.
Boom. If the back doesn't get that, the guy, he might get an opportunity to get in Derek Carr's face. It was a great call. It skipped. That's why you study all that tape.
That's why.
Down in distance, area of the field. This is what he likes to do.
That's where Chucky is at his best. Again, where he's at his worst is he sees the quarterback as an extension of himself.
Right.
And it's hard on the quarterback.
Right.
And he won in Oakland with Rich Gannon because Rich Gannon would tell him where to go with his calls or whatever. And he won at Tampa with another loaded football team. We're going to talk about that later in the show. But he had Brad Johnson, a veteran quarterback, who would tell him, no, leave me alone. I got this. Right? Okay. So that was John at his worst and then at his best on the last play. And Derek Carr, to his credit, he puts up with it. He is, listen, Derek Carr is just a good dude. He tries hard. He practices hard. He plays hard. He works hard. And he puts up with a lot of you-know-what from John Gruden. And he doesn't bellyache or bitch about it publicly. He just keeps playing. And to my eye, I thought, even though his QBR wasn't great last night, it was a 53, I thought under the circumstances, under the magnitude, under the pressure that they found themselves under, I thought it was Derek Carr's greatest game of his career. All told, everything that happened in that game, was he not all-time clutch down the stretch? Now, you can discredit the Raiders.
Well, Skip, he had a lot of drops, too. Waller dropped several.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. He threw 19 balls to Darren Waller.
I want to be Darren Waller.
19 balls? Do you not want that? Again, he's sort of a hybrid, wide-out tight end. I don't know what he is. But they just forced the ball to Darren Waller because he's 6'6" or whatever he is, and he can fly. Okay, we get that. But the point is, he only caught 10 of them for 105 yards. Those are good numbers. But the 19 targets and only 10 catches, he won't fight for anything. He will give Derek Carr no help at all. And I think we have one play that caught my eye at the end, near the end of the half. And he throws it up for Darren Waller, and just catch it. All you have to do is swivel a little bit, and Derek Carr looked to the sideline and said, "Just put your hands up."
It's almost like he tried to one-hand it. It's like both hands.
Put your two hands on it.
This
happened repeatedly in the football game, where unless the pass hit him right on the button, he would not fight for it. He would not adjust to it.
But that's 49's fault. Once he see that guy disappears and block, he's supposed to sink. He's supposed to be there. That should have been a pick. 49, the guy goes away. Now you sink. 49, sink.
Okay, but the ball is highly catchable to me. And it's going to be a 30-yard gain. And Derek Carr's like, just put your hands up. Okay, and it happened repeatedly. He gets no help from a guy he targeted 19 times. Okay, so now let's look at what Derek Carr did down the stretch, if we can. let's look at the first drive that put them back, that they had fallen behind 24-17 to tie the game. And he converts a 3rd and 10 at the Baltimore 47. And the throw to Ruggs, where he had to throw it across the field.
I was thinking, when he read this, I was thinking this the Tyreek play. Now you see why John Johnson overran the play.
It's somewhat similar if we could see it. But this is 3rd and 10. This is a huge play in the game. This is a win or lose play. And he just drops it right down the chimney to Ruggs, and it was a sweet throw. And then he throws it to your man, Darren Waller. And then he throws the touchdown pass to Darren Waller. And all of a sudden, we're back to 24-all. Well, that's pretty clutch drive at that point in the game, because that's with 4 minutes left, down to 3 minutes left. Okay? Then Lamar says, I got this.
Right.
He makes that great run up the middle. They get the field goal from the best kicker in pro football, as we talked about many times. And all of a sudden, there's only 37 seconds left in regulation with no timeouts.
0.
And how can you do this? And all of a sudden, Bryan Edwards has been nowhere to be found in the offense. And all of a sudden, he starts going to Bryan Edwards out of the blue, the kid from South Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you playing man coverage in this situation?
All right. Well, but are these not good throws?
Yeah, but I'm saying, Skip, it's from a defensive perspective, why would you go man coverage?
Okay. Let's see the throw. He goes 20 and 18 to Bryan Edwards.
Yeah, look at this. Skip, why are you doing this?
Okay, but he's covered. He's pretty well covered. I don't know. Those are big time clutch throws.
That last throw was big time.
That had some juice on it.
Not that one.
Okay, all right.
The other one, this one. This one.
This is for the game.
Skip, this is a big time throw. Look at this.
That's for the game. You're going to lose if you don't make that throw. No timeouts, and he made the throw to set up a 55-yard field goal.
I know the kid had that kind of leg.
Okay, well, he did. And it'd
have been good from 60.
He boomed it. He did, because I think his adrenaline was Raider Nation pumping.
Yes.
Right? Black hole. He was like out of his mind.
Yes.
Okay, so now he's on fire, and he carries it over into overtime. They win the toss, and let's look at what he did.
Oh, he was
in overtime
money.
To Bryan Edwards. Let's see these plays. This is just clutch city. He's out of his mind. That'll work. Okay. Oh, that was we're seeing these plays. This is the one that we thought had won
the game.
Okay. So here's the throw to Bryan Edwards that looked like it had won the game. I thought he got in, actually, until I saw the replay. And everybody else thought he got in. The Raiders celebrated. The Raiders shook hands with the Ravens. They bro-hugged. They did everything. It was over. They're talking about the wives and kids. How you doing?
Yeah, good luck, man.
Good luck
game.
down the season. And all of a sudden, whoops, you got to go back and do it again.
And then Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah, it's 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, and now it started because Derek Carr tried to sneak it and just couldn't push the pile. And then Leatherwood, the rookie from Alabama, he moves, and now you're in big trouble, because now you go all the way back to there, and you got an incomplete. And here we go, and he throws it. And I thought Snead should have caught the ball.
Oh, he
I know there was a little too much on it.
Oh, he put some mustard on it, that's He did put some mustard on it.
Okay, but still, I just thought that Snead has to snag that ball, and if he does, the game's over, obviously. But he did not. That was just an incomplete, well covered to Renfro, and play in question, right through his hands, off a helmet, into a Ravens' hands. And
that's what I thought. Okay, this is for the Ravens.
Okay,
that's what I thought this was for the Ravens, Skip.
And it felt like what has become typical Raiders collapse.
Yes.
It felt like what can go wrong just went wrong for the Raiders, because they had 1st and goal at the 1 to win the game, and all of a sudden it's the Ravens' ball going the other way. And you know and I know what happened. The strip sack by Nassib happened.
Skip, you mentioned there were throws that you see Lamar make, the throw to Sammy Watkins, the throw on the move to a Hollywood Brown, and then there's two stretches where they run a boot and he has the fullback wide open and he throws it at his feet. And then on 3rd down and 8, he has the back on the rail, on the rim, right on the sideline, Skip, and he throws it 10 yards in front of him.
Yeah.
Those, Skip, it's the little things. See, people think a lot of times it will come down to a throw.
Yep.
But in a situation like this, It's those throws that keep you on the field, that keeps you in a rhythm. Those are the throws that the really good quarterbacks,
I got it.
They make more time than that. I'm not saying no quarterback makes every throw.
I know, but he did win the MVP
Yes.
because he was making all those throws.
Yes. But, Skip, at this point in time, a 8-yard, a little stick route, it's got to be automatic. A guy standing on the sideline with no pressure in your face has to be automatic.
Yeah. Okay, but in the end, I loved watching this football game because both teams competed their behinds.
Yes.
Because what I love about your old team, the Ravens, is the pride still lasts there. The pride in that locker room, okay, so they lost Dobbins, they lost Edwards, and they lost Justice Hill, and then they lost Marcus Peters on top of it. And a lot of teams would be down in the mouth, heads hanging. They came out and fought their tails off. And I appreciate that. The quarterback fights his tail off to a fault.
Yes.
Because he tries to do a little too much and he loses the football. But for once, the Raiders showed me some refuse to lose.
Right.
And it started with the quarterback. And I just don't know if he can play much better than that against a defense that can be tricky to play against because they are so well coached. And they're so versatile, and they throw so many different looks at you. And he stood strong all night long.
The thing, Skip, the thing is that the Ravens have always had that one guy, be it Suggs, be it Matthew Judon, maybe it's a Zadarius Smith, Pernell McPhee when he was in it earlier. They've always had one guy that they could always count on to get home. Now Wink Martindale has to scheme, has to bring more, but he doesn't have Smith. He doesn't have the other Marcus Peters back there. So now I don't know if you can still run that same scheme when you have less players on the back end to cover up. Because if they don't get home, Skip, you played zero coverage, there's nobody there, and you see Derek Carr retreat, loft the ball up, Ruggs coming all the way across the field. You see about Edwards catching the ball. And I just don't know, Skip. You might have to change your philosophy. I know this is your principle. This is what you believe in. But you don't have the horses. I mean, hey, if I don't have the horses, I'm not entering the Kentucky Derby because I don't have a horse that can win. And so that's what Wink Martindale's going to have to do. Now, Skip, you know who's coming to town next Sunday night, right? My homeboy. Now, you run that coverage against him, and Tyreek could go for 300.
And by the way, Kansas City has beaten Baltimore 4 straight, and Mahomes has beaten Lamar all 3 times. He's 3-0 against Lamar, and this is once again in Baltimore. You have to figure that one out.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what you don't do. Don't run zero coverage against Tyreek. Now the Raiders don't have it easy either because they're on the road in Pittsburgh.
They are.
So we're gonna find out a lot about what Baltimore. Now I know what I believe, what I think they are because I was in that locker room. And even though I wasn't in there with none of them, Skip,
it stays. That pride stays.
Skip, I don't know if you saw it last night when they were walking out the locker room. They have a door. They have a mat. Play like a Raven. They take that on the road with them because that's the last thing they want you to see as you walk out the locker room. Understand you're a Raven.
I love
Play
that.
like that today.
Yep, I got that.
I like that too. Although I have to say it was probably a long flight home for the Ravens last night after that one. But what a way to close it out, guys. We had so much action over the weekend, and it just so much to look forward to.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.